We should have some music going on right now. This would be good.
Haven't been able to figure out how to make music work. Bill McKibben, present and accounted for.
Oh.
Hey. Yes, the summer tour has begun.
Yeah, summer tour has begun.
And you can tell it's summer.
Well, it's 2 o'clock and time for another What Does This Button Do show. Episode 87. It's an educational show about smartphones and tablets with us, the Geeks on Tour. Hi, I'm Jim, and here together with my wife, Chris, we are Geeks on Tour. And there we are. Do you think your smartphone is smarter than you? And do you have questions about your Android phone or your smart iPad, your tablets, your mobile devices? And how do you learn about all of this stuff that's around us here?
Well, we like to teach and we like to learn, and it's something you have to do regularly all the time. So that's why we came up with this weekly show. Each week we give a few tips and we do a beginner's lesson on a particular topic.
Isn't that cool? Well, where are we now, Chris?
Well, this is the key. We are in the RV. In case you can't tell, our background is a little bit different here. And we just got pulled into our site at Gamble Rogers State Park. What a find. That is our site there. And we are looking at the ocean.
So she took a picture of the site before we parked.
Yeah.
We're actually... We are parked there now.
we are parked there now.
That's pretty neat. Yeah, that's a neat place.
And so this will probably be a short show because I want to go out and get in the ocean.
That's true. Well, on today's show, we have a tip of the day. We'll have a beginner's lesson. We'll have navigating with Google Maps. Our app of the day is going to be something a little bit different. It's called Torque, and it's about some of the stuff that I've been dealing with getting on this road trip. Let's see, if you have questions, ask them here in the comments. The show is recorded on YouTube and on our Geeks on Tour YouTube channel. You can always find those links at our website, geeksontour.com.
Yep.
Well, cool. We do invite you to become a member. Becoming a member at Geeks on Tour, you get a lot of benefits, and we'll tell you about those a little bit later. Show notes. What do you have here? Class notes from last episode. Free up space.
Last episode we did free up space, and once, as usual, I just want to make sure people know about the show notes. So I'm going to show you. And two things. First of all, last week's show notes are about freeing up space on your device. But I also want you to know how to find past show notes. We have done Google Maps before, and I strongly encourage you. I'm trying to get to our website here. There we go. So you go to geeksontour.com, and then you click on the menu item that says Weekly Show. And from there, if you scroll down, you'll see a listing of all 86, it will soon be 87, weekly shows. And you'll go bug-eye trying to find the past shows on Google Maps. But if you use search, it'll be easy to do. As soon as we get there, I'll show you how.
We're really putting a strain on the bandwidth here today with the...
We are using, tell them what we're using for internet connection.
We are using our cellular data plans on our Verizon Unlimited plan. Chris has one on her Verizon phone. I have one on my Samsung Verizon phone. So I'm running the show on Mr. Geek, and she's doing her part on Mrs. Geek. And it is really cool that we can do this whole thing just sitting on a beach.
We never know till we get there, though. So here is geeksontour.com, the weekly show page. And if I do a Control F, if you're on a Mac, that would be a Command F. You should notice in the upper right-hand corner, a little search box has appeared. So I can search for map, Google Maps, and instantly every place on the screen that has the word maps has been highlighted, and it says there are 7 of them. If I tap on the down arrow, it'll start going through them. So there, back in March, we did navigating with Google Maps, but things have changed. And I tapped the next one, and back in February, we did regular just Google Maps.
But things have changed.
And last September, we did a little bit on Google Maps. And then in January of 15, we did Google Maps. So you can find every time that we have done a show notes on Google Maps. And if you're a member, you can read those. Okay. So that's what I have to say about show notes.
Okay, well, Gene signed in. I'm just going through a couple of these real quick. Okay, Lauren Wilson says everything good in California. Michael Dorsey says good sound and video. Mary Klinger says we are a little blurry. Well, that's a feature of this.
Yes, we are.
Thank you for noticing. That's usually has something to do with the bandwidth, maybe on our end, but it could be at your end too. Well, we might, we'll see if anybody else mentions it. Okay.
We feel a little bit blurry.
We always feel. In Alaska, reception spotty. We'll watch the archived, always helpful.
Good,
cool.
Thanks.
And Jolyn, I don't see her here, but she says she's going to try and make it. We hope to see her.
Greetings from Victoria, BC. Yay. Less blurry now. You know, I have learned that these live video casts start off as low a bandwidth as they possibly can, and then keep getting better and better as the minutes go by. Your system is checking what bandwidth it has available to it, and it keeps, so that's a feature.
Yeah. We always like these features. Okay, cool. Where are we? Quick tip.
Multitasking is my quick tip. We did a whole show on this way back in the beginning. Episode number 3 was about multitasking. But I just
remember episode 3. It was so long ago.
I just want to remind people. So what do I mean by multitasking? There's another. My example is, and this is because it's something I do all the time. Say I'm reading a book on my Kindle app, and then I see a picture I want to take. I want to quick switch over to the camera. Once I've taken the picture, I want to quick switch back to my book. And let me show you how. So first on the Android. So here's my Kindle book that I'm reading. Now, and I'm just reading as Jim is driving, and I say, oh, there's a picture I want to take. Well, the first time I have to press this home button and then the camera, and then I take the picture. Now I want to just quickly go back. That's multitasking. On an Android, it's one of the buttons either to the left or to the right of your home button. On mine, it's to the left. That is called multitasking. It's also called recent apps. And there's Amazon Kindle. Now I see a photo I want to take. Multitasking, camera. Multitasking, Kindle. See how that works?
I use that all the time.
Oh, yeah. Now, some people think that they see all these and this is just garbage and they have to swipe them off. No, the purpose is for the multitasking. Same thing works on an iPhone. It's just a different button. So I am reading actually, I think I already have it open. So on the iPhone, it's a double press on the main home button. And now I guess there's my Kindle. Now, when you start going back and forth, they become the first in the list. All right. So there's the book I'm reading on this one. And to get to the camera, I will first just press the home button once. And again, to get to the main home screen, there's the camera. I take a picture. I want to get back to my book. Double tap on the home button. There's my book. Double tap on the home button. There's the camera. double tap on the home, there's my book. So I call that multitasking.
So if you double tap on the home again, what happens?
Are you saying I repeat myself?
No.
You better not.
Well, but we do invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Just go to youtube.com/2geeksontour. Let's see, I don't see any questions here yet. Go ahead and put your questions in there. I have some from before. I'll try and dig those up. You want to do that now?
Do what?
Questions.
Well, if there are any, we just like to take a pause here in between the quick tips and the beginner's lesson.
Okay. With the Google Maps show this upcoming, can you also touch upon how Google Maps differs from Google Earth? I'd like to see that discussed. That's a great question. Before Google Maps was as good as it used to be, I mean, as good as it is now. Where am I there?
We used to use Google Earth a lot.
Yeah.
And we haven't used it too much lately because they keep adding these new features into Google Maps. In fact, one of the new features in Google Maps on the computer is just a button in the corner to switch it over to Google Earth.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest difference is that Google Earth has 3D.
Yeah. Now they're starting to bring in more 3D on maps too, but that's really what Google Earth was made to do. It was never meant for navigation, although it could do that. But it's mostly for topography and features and search, and it is just such a cool tool that I still love to use it. But for the regular mapping and the traveling and the stuff that we do, I think Google Maps is.
And it uses a lot more bandwidth
yeah,
because of the graphics, the 3D in it.
Good point.
And come to think of it, I mean, navigation used to be a separate app. It used to be Google Navigation and Google Maps and Google Earth. Now Google Navigation is part of Google Maps on your mobile devices. And Google Earth is kind of becoming part of Google Maps on the computer. It's still a separate app but we haven't used it too much lately.
Yeah.
Elevation, I think, is the one thing that it does that Maps doesn't do, right?
And that's supposed to be coming, from what I heard.
In Maps?
Yeah.
So, I mean,
it keeps changing.
Google is probably headed towards just one app called Google. You just say, Google, do this for me, and it does. So everything's merging.
Okay, and Bob Gostisha wants to know, please go into detail turn-by-turn navigation. We have a hard time setting it up, and that's what we're going to...
I think, yeah. If you're watching, Bob, let me know if we get your question answered by the time I'm done with this.
Okay, so we're ready for a beginner's lesson.
Navigating with Google Maps.
Go for it.
And first of all, what is Google Maps? Well, there is just the map, which means you can go anywhere in the world and look at what's there and find out information and search for things. And when you find a place that you like, you can save that. And we'll show you how to do that. Then there is driving mode, which is just a very different perspective. It gets down and low, and you can go in the direction you're going, and you can get traffic information.
And that's kind of three-dimensional.
It is a little bit, yeah. But navigation is the third piece, and as I say, it used to be a separate app, but now it's together. Voice-directed, turn-by-turn instructions. All you have to do is give Google Maps a destination. So that's what makes the difference between just a map and a driving mode and turn-by-turn navigation is give it a destination.
And there's going to be a quiz on this, so remember that point.
The way you give it destinations, there's three ways: voice, typing, and tapping. So by voice, you can just say, hey, navigate to Walmart, or, and we'll show you this, take me home. If you want to type, you can type in the search bar, winery in Flagler Beach. That's where we're going later. Or if you see something on the map, you can just tap on it and navigate to it. or you can tap on locations in any number of applications or in your email or a calendar entry. And we'll show you that. So we are going to show you. I'm going to show you several things. Now, this works exactly the same. It's so nice on the Android as it does on the Apple. So I'm going to stick with the Android for 90% of my demo. There are a couple things that only work on the Android. So if it works on the Apple, it works the same way. If it doesn't work on the Apple, that means they haven't gotten it there yet.
Right.
So I'm going to be going on the Android. I want to first start with showing you how to get help. That's important for everything. And then how to get the navigation or the map, and getting destinations from calendar and email, saving locations, looking at your recently visited. I'm just going to throw a bunch of stuff at you. So first, Google Maps. I have it in my little Google group, and there it is, Maps. When you first bring it up, it's just a map. I do encourage you to go through help anytime. Oh, look at where we are. Is that nice or what? We are right on the ocean. That's what the blue dot always shows you where you are. But you can look anywhere. You can just pinch the map, and I can go look. I've been fascinated with Australia lately. That's the book I'm reading, is the Sunburned Country. And so I've been looking at Australia, and I can explore around. I can look at it in with satellite view. Now, if I want to come back to where I am, that's this bullseye button. Let me see if I can get that. There we go. So this bullseye means take me home. I mean, move the map back to where I am, center on where I am. And now we're seeing it in satellite view. Now, getting help is on the 3-line menu, and it's down at the bottom, help. And as with everything, Google is getting better at their help. So use navigation in the Google Maps app. You know, I learned a couple new things this week just by going through the help. It's good stuff. Now, how do we navigate? First, what did I mean by driving mode? Well, if you tap on the 3-line menu, start driving. So, well, what do you mean start driving? But this just means get me into the perspective of the road and show me traffic and show me the direction I'm going and anything going on. Notice right here, it kind of assumes if you're just driving, maybe you want to go home. If I just tap on home.
On your way home, traffic is late as usual. You might want to take the route via I-95 South since it's slightly faster.
And I will show you how you get home in there. But I really don't want to do that. So how do you cancel a navigation? It's this X right here. Now, what if that X doesn't show up? If you've moved around somewhere, that line might have gone away. But if you just tap on that button that says recenter.
It's hard to see there. There you go.
Tap on the button that says recenter, you'll get that line back. X, it says cancel this navigation. I really don't want to go. And then to get back to your map, you have to tap on the back arrow in the upper left. Navigating by voice is by far the quickest. So if you're not in a noisy area, you can just tap on the little microphone, navigate to Walmart.
Head northwest toward A1A Scenic and Historic Coastal Byway, South Ocean Shore Boulevard.
That's it. That's all you have to do. Navigating by voice is the easiest. Now, I really don't want to do that either. I don't want to go to Walmart. I want to go to a winery. So I'm going to go back again. And this time I'm going to type because I just don't trust it to hear me right. So I'm going to type winery. Ah, look at that. I've done it before. Oops. Near me.
You've put a dot in there. Heard it. Why do you keep putting
I don't
dots?
know. Hear me. Okay. You never mistype anything.
No,
do you?
I'm a perfect typist. Touch typist for years.
Flagler Beachfront Winery. Now that's actually why we're here, isn't it?
That's part of the reason we're here. Years ago, we were up in Ohio, and we found this winery called Tarsitano's, and they had a restaurant, and they had this winery, and they happened to be in the area, so we like wineries. We went there. Well, they happened to find this place down here, and they've started a winery, or at least the family, or somehow they're together with this group down here at Flagler Beach. And so they have a winery and they have food, and we're going there to partake.
And look at that. It doesn't look like it's very far. It says 8 minutes by car, and it's right on the beach. I wonder if we could ride our bikes. Google will give you bicycle navigation as well. I tap on the little car. That's what says, well, give me the route by car. Then I say, maybe I want to ride a bike instead. And up in the top, there's a little picture of a bike. If I tap there, it says, oh, well, that'll take you 19 minutes by bicycle. It looks like it's the same route, though, A1A, but at least it's saying that that is bicycle rideable.
Right.
So that's cool. Now, how else can you get it? So you can speak a destination, you can search for a destination, you can just find a destination on the map and tap on it. So let's say we wanted to go to Anastasia State Park. You can just tap on Anastasia, and then you tap the car, and you're still not voice-directed navigating until you tap on the triangle. That is the symbol for navigation.
Toward A1A Scenic and Historic Coastal Byway, South Ocean Shore Boulevard.
All right, I'm canceling that one. But what if you're planning something in the future and you need to remember where it is you want to go? Well, you probably have it either in your calendar or in an email. So let me show you that. I go into my calendar, and I have something on my calendar for tomorrow that says mail stop. Our mail forwarding service is in a place called Green Cove Springs, and there's the location. So if you have an entry in your calendar that has an address, you can just tap that address. It finds it, you tap the car and the triangle.
Head northwest toward A1A Scenic and Historic Coastal Byway, South Ocean Shore Boulevard.
And now I am getting voice-directed, turn-by-turn navigation to a location that I found in my calendar. I just think that's awesome.
And more of this stuff just starts showing up. I notice it nearly every time I go on a trip, that there's new features that just blow me away.
Yes. Yes, Google Maps has made a lot of changes just recently.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's since they became Alphabet, it really has let loose the energy that's been.
You think?
I do.
Wow.
All right, so I'm going into my email now because we actually made reservations for one place this summer, and it's called Liberty Harbor RV Park because it's by New York City, and there's not much around New York City. So we made reservations, and let's say I am now ready to navigate there. I open my email system, my Gmail, of course. I tap on search, and I type Liberty Harbor, and I've already done that. So
Liberty and savings.
Liberty Harbor.
Have it.
And search. And I should find the reservation confirmation. Yep.
I love search.
That's
what
yes.
Google does.
And here I get my confirmation, and it just says, click this link. So notice in my email, I actually clicked where there was an address. This one's had a particular link. And now I don't have a car because it's not sure what I'm doing. It's just taking me to that spot. But if I tap on the crooked arrow, that gives me directions, and it needs a starting point. And I will say my current location. Now I get the triangle. The triangle is what you tap to get voice-directed, turn-by-turn navigation.
Head northwest toward A1A Scenic and Historic Coastal Byway, South Ocean Shore Boulevard.
That's a bit of a long trip.
3 days.
4
4
days.
days, 3 hours.
So I think we're going to need to add another stop. And that is a new feature that has been added. So first I need to cancel the actual navigation so that I can get back to the stops. And if you tap the 3 dots, there is now add stop. This is fairly new. And this is something that's still not available on the iPhone yet. So I can add stop. And another place that we know we're going to along the way is Big Mill Bed and Breakfast. What did I do? I tapped on something. These things are so touchy. Big Mill Bed and Breakfast in North Carolina. But notice what it did. It added it at the end. That's not going to work. So first I'll need to X. And I tapped on the X one too many times. So I have to go back to Big Mill. Now, see those little 3 lines? If you grab right on those 3 lines, you can move the stop to a different place.
It's like dragging your icons around your screen. It's very touchy. And
yeah,
you have to get
there we go.
right.
I got it.
Good job.
And the route will reroute accordingly. But if this is how you're doing your plan, you need to be able to save this somehow. So I say done. And there really is no save, but there is, under the 3 dots, a share. And then what I do, there's several different ways.
Lots of ways.
Yeah, but I just email it to myself. What's my name? All right. I just email it to myself. So now in an email, I have this 3-stop travel plan. Okay. I will go to the iPhone now for a couple of things. Just for you Apple people out there, I don't want to be completely Android centric. Okay. And what those couple of things are, if you are an RV traveler like us, you use Allstays. If you don't, you should. Allstays is where we find our places to stay, period, end. If Allstays doesn't have it, it doesn't exist.
Or you don't need it.
Or you don't need it, yeah. So here are all the different places. And I'm just going to pick, I'm not even going to be particular here. I say, that looks good. It's near St. Augustine. It's on the beach. And I want to go there. Now, on the Apple, the screen looks a little bit different than on the Android. So that's why I wanted to show it. And you have a choice between Apple Maps and Google Maps. So I have chosen a destination. Now I want to navigate there, and I want Google Maps to do my navigating. So I tap on Google Maps. Are you sure you want to close this app and open Google Maps? Yes, that's what I want to do. But now, am I navigating yet?
No, I don't think so. It's just a map, right?
Right. It's a map with a route, so I can see if I like that route.
Okay.
But I'm not navigating until I tap the triangle, the
Head
arrow.
northwest toward A1A Scenic and Historic Coastal Byway, South Ocean Shore Boulevard.
And I'm canceling that. So just to show you that there are other programs, other apps like Allstays that allow you to navigate as well. And on the Apple, some of them now give you a choice of navigating with whatever navigating apps you have. Now, what Jim was talking about, we need to be able to save places. And I want to show you that, something new. So this is such a great site where we are right now. I want to save this spot. So what you do is you drop a pin. You touch and hold. I'm touching and holding right on the blue dot, which represents where we are right now. And that gives me a dropped pin. But as soon as I get out of Google Maps, that drop pin goes away. So how do I save it? If you drag up, you now have the option to save. You might have noticed a bunch of gold stars when I scrolled out on my map. Those are all the places I've saved. But up until recently, you haven't been able to give a name to that. It's just been a star. Now you can tap on label, and I can say Site 15 at Gamble Rogers. And done. So from now on, until I unsave this, there will be a gold star at this spot in Florida. And we should see where it says site, and it's Site 15 Gamble Rogers. But I don't even have to do that, because if you go to your 3-line menu and tap on Your Places, Google knows all. There's labeled places, home and work are some of those, and you can enter or change addresses here.
You can even change the icons there.
Yeah, that was fun. And maps, oh, look at this. The Apple doesn't have as many
as the Android.
As the Android does. So sorry, I'm going back to the Android because this is just too cool. And back up, back up. And same thing, I just tapped on the 3 lines and then tapped on Your Places. But on the Android, I get labeled, saved, visited, and maps. So under labeled, I should see, it hasn't updated with the one I did over on the Your Places. Nope, it doesn't have Site 15 yet, but it will. That's just a matter of synchronizing. Saved. These are places we've saved in the past. But anything that's here, we can tap on and navigate to. Here's the new one that astounds me, is visited. It knows every place I've been. If you have location history turned on, and we covered that a few episodes ago, then it keeps. So think about this. For example, let's say that I have a new dermatologist. I've been to him once about a month ago or so. Now I need to go back, and I don't remember exactly where it is or how to get to it. But I can find, if I go back about a month's worth, we'll see dermatologist. There we go, dermatology. Tap there. No, I'm not going to tap the car to get a route.
Aren't you going to bicycle?
No. Tap the navigate to get turn-by-turn directions.
Head northwest toward A1A Scenic and Historic Coastal Byway, South Ocean Shore Boulevard.
All right. Did I cover everything I wanted to cover?
I hope so.
I think I do.
Okay.
Let's see if there's any questions.
Yeah. Andy says, if you go in a restaurant, you will make a photo from the dinner map. Not quite sure what that is.
If you go in the restaurant, you will make a photo from it.
We'll have to get back to that one.
If you go in a restaurant, Google knows that you went there if you have
That's for
location
sure.
services turned on, and you can get back. If you take a photo, that photo will also be attached to the location. Yeah, one other time I told you how to navigate via photos. That's cool too, but I did that in another episode. But
Okay, when you have a long straight route, I get nervous when I don't hear from Google for a long time. How can I see if she's still there?
that is a good question. In other GPS units, you can just tap and it repeats whatever the latest. I have not found such a button to press, but all you have to do is say, "Okay, Google, what's my next turn?"
Right.
And it will do it. So you can do it by voice. I haven't found a way to do it by touch.
Yeah, I remember Streets and Trips. All you had to do was hit the space bar.
Right, right.
Read
That
the
was
last.
that was nice.
Okay.
And there might be such a thing. I just haven't found it yet.
Hear from Ron in BC, Canada. Using your cell phone while driving is distracted driving. If you're using it at all, I can understand. Well, it's to limit your use of Google Maps while driving. Trying to use Google Maps while driving is very dangerous for the driver. Absolutely.
Right, and he does not. This is what the passenger does. But he does need a GPS. We have a dashboard dedicated unit that we set the destination before he drives off, and we don't touch it. But the Google Maps is then what I use in the passenger seat to see if we like the route that the dashboard unit is doing.
Do you need a data plan to use Google Maps?
Yes, absolutely. Now, it does not take anywhere near as much data as people think, because the information about your location is coming from a satellite. That's not data. That's
Right.
not internet connection. What's coming from the internet is the map. And the map isn't changing all that often. And you can download.
Unless you're really going fast.
You can save maps. So you can go to a Wi-Fi hotspot and save maps, and then you can navigate using those. So there's a way to do it without a data plan, but basically, yes, you need a data plan.
Okay. Going your way. Did you get that?
This was kind of optional if we had enough time.
We're running out of time.
Okay. And those are
Okay.
videos those will be member videos.
All right. Again, we invite you to like us on Facebook. Go to our Facebook page and just subscribe. That's cool. What else you got? App of the week is Torque Lite. They have a paid version and a light version, like a lot of these things. But it's a device and an app. The app is called Torque. The device is called an onboard diagnostic, and it plugs in underneath your dash on your car, and it uses Bluetooth or Wi-Fi. Bluetooth is probably the better way to connect to the app, and it does most of the things that your mechanic will see when they plug in their multi-$1,000 device into your car and check the computer. Now, all of that information is available to you. You can see what your car is doing in real time. You can see all of that stuff. And you can even clear some of the codes that the engine, if the engine light comes on, now you can check and find out what that code really is. You can export your maps and your track logs. It'll go to Google Earth or a CSV that you can put into Google Maps. You can check your engine performance real time or over a period. It's really kind of cool.
Now, this one works with the diesel, right?
Yeah, the OBD, onboard diagnostics, has been around for quite a few years now, and different vehicles use them for different purposes. So your car may have more features in the program than my car. So they have a heads-up display, which is basically a mirror mode, so you can stick that phone on your dashboard and you can see the reflection in your windshield. That is really cool. There are a lot more features in the paid version. You don't get any ads with the paid version. But right now, the thing is just for Android only. So you Apple folks, you're out of luck with this particular thing. But it's something that, a lot of people have been using and asking for. And there are several different devices out there. I think I paid $25 for the device that plugs in. I should have unplugged it so I had it here, but it was such a hurry to get over here. Anyway.
So it's as a device that plugs into
the car. You connect your smartphone or tablet to it with Bluetooth, or some of the older ones, or even maybe or Wi-Fi, and you run the app, and you can just set it up there, and it'll give you your speed, and it'll give you all kinds of diagnostics, real time, and over a period of time. It's really neat to have that information. There are a lot of different devices out there that you can get. I recommend spending a little bit of time. Don't get the cheapest ones out there because there are a lot of clones out there that may not even work. So.
And how much was the device?
The device was about $25.
Oh, okay.
The app is free unless you want to pay for the $5 for the one time. And the guy's from UK somewhere.
Okay.
Well,
what's that?
I don't know.
Well,
what happened? There it is. Did you learn something? In order to navigate, you must have a what?
Destination. It's not just the map. You need a destination, and then tap the little triangle.
Okay, there are 3 ways to start Google Maps navigating to a particular destination. By voice, right?
Mm-hmm.
Saying the destination. By typing or searching for the destination, or by
tapping. And there's lots of, anywhere you see an address or a location, try tapping on it. It might take you there on the map, and then you can tap the car and the triangle and start navigating.
Okay, you can enter your home address by
tapping on the 3-line menu and choosing your places. You'll see where your home and your work is under there, and you can add, delete, or edit.
Okay. True or false, when starring a place in Google Maps, you can now add a label.
True.
Yeah.
I have all these stars, and I have no idea what they are, because up until just recently, you couldn't name them.
Sometimes they're just an address.
Right. And sometimes they're very important. A friend's driveway that we could park in.
Okay, to access your saved places, use the 3-line menu and choose what?
I just gave that. Your places.
Okay. Last question, true or false? On Android, you can add multiple stops to your navigation route.
Yeah. I up until even just a few weeks ago, I was saying you had to have a computer to do that. Now you can do it on the Android, and I'm sure it'll be coming to Apple.
All right, Chris, what's the webpage that lists all of our weekly shows?
GeeksOnTour.com, and the menu item is Weekly Show.
And the webpage that lists all of our recent newsletters.
GeeksOnTour.com, the menu is blogs and articles, and newsletters is under there. And please read the last one. We are planning our trip this summer using a new system called Furcot, new to us, called Furcot. Strange name for a really nice navigation, not features. Navigation, trip planning. So you plan the trip over there, then you tap on the places there, and it takes you to Google Maps to navigate.
Okay. Benefits of joining Geeks on Tour. As a member, you get complete learning library of prepared tutorial videos. That's what Chris spends all her time doing. You get to ask questions on the member Q&A forum, and we promise to respond. We don't promise to answer. We promise to respond. Show notes for our saved What Does This Button Do shows, and with direct links. That's really nice to have, and discounts on products and services. We do invite you to become a member. Just go to geeksontour.com, and if we answer just one of your questions, that's probably pretty much paid for a whole year. geeksontour.com. Next time, we're going to have a show next week. It'll be the 17th.
Well, we don't know where we'll be or what we're going to talk about, but we plan to be here.
We have an idea because we've done a little bit
of
planning.
Right. That's right. I could go look on Furcot and see on the 17th where it says we're going to be. Somewhere in the DC area, I think. somewhere in
Chesapeake.
North Carolina,
Yeah.
Virginia, Chesapeake.
Anyway, watch for the notification for the next show. Let us know that you're going to be watching and leave any questions there in the comments. All right, that does it for us. I'm Jim,
I'm Chris.
and we'll see you next time on
Keep on pressing those buttons.
Don't Press That Button. What does that button
Just
do?
ask, what does this button do? It
Okay.
won't blow up, I promise.
Bye-bye.